What is the greatest threat to the United States?
Donald Trump.
He's a fascist, racist son of a bitch.
Okay.
I think he's a threat to women. He's a threat to kids.
These people don't just hate Trump. They despise him. They loathe him with a passion that they would projectile vomit just at the sound of his name. There's something wrong with that attitude.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. What do Americans think is the greatest threat to the United States? Today I'm in Laguna Beach, California to find out. Let's go talk to some people. Huge shout out to Traditions Meat Company for sponsoring this video. What is the greatest threat to the United States? What do you guys think?
The world and the United States is part of that, obviously, would be climate change.
The loss of democracy.
Donald Trump
Okay.
and nicotine.
You're more of Donald Trump is the greatest threat.
Yeah, and his
MAGA Republicans, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I agree. Donald Trump is, chaos wrapped up with corruption like Al Capone days. Get him out of there. Lock
You
him
guys,
up, throw away the key.
The authoritarian tendency and the populism that exists in this country.
Censorship. When people can't explain what they really want, and I'm not saying just the left, but like right and left, like people not being able to explain what they truly feel is definitely hurting everyone.
Probably like alcohol.
Alcohol, okay.
Yeah.
That's the first alcohol response. Okay, what do you think, man?
I mean, drugs.
Just people not being educated
Okay.
on, like, literally anything. Like,
Why did you guys go with that response? You guys dare raps?
I think the greatest threat to America right now is our identity. We're losing our identity.
Our moral values.
Internal division within our country.
Social division.
Okay.
Whether it's like, racism or, like gender stuff.
The Christian family unit is under attack, and I think that's the greatest threat to the United States today.
Joe Biden and the Democrat Party.
We need a new person in charge.
Okay, so not Joe Biden.
Yes.
So maybe the possibility of, separation or civil war down the road is what you fear the most.
It is. I think that would probably be a likely outcome, but something where we're kind of tearing each other apart. And I think at the behest of other countries, it probably would be, smiling in the background. Because what's the best way to beat your enemy? Not by even drawing one, one weapon.
Greatest threat to the United States, I think, is this feeling that we see, especially among the extreme left, that hates America, that hates what American values stand for. I shouldn't say hates American values, that don't understand American values and believe that this is a society which is fundamentally unjust, fundamentally racist.
Why is Donald Trump the greatest threat to the United States?
Because he's a fascist, racist son of a bitch.
Okay.
I think he's a threat to women. He's a threat to kids. He's a threat to everyone around him.
Threat to the planet Earth,
Yeah.
humanity.
And then why do you pick that as the primary one over any of the other issues?
So I think it's something that's sneaking up on us. Like today's a beautiful day. It doesn't seem like climate change is going to be impacting us very much, but I think the world could look pretty drastically different in the next 10 years.
How much time do you think the United States has left if we're not addressing that?
That's a scientific question that I don't have the answer to. I'm just going to throw a number out. I think that in 20 years, life could look quite a bit different.
Game over, you thinking?
I don't know about game over.
Why do you say loss of democracy when it comes to, our system?
Because we tend to believe in external forces which solve our life, our problems.
Like what? External forces as in?
Like one man that could have the power to decide for us what we need to do because we are not fully accountable for our own lives.
Right.
And we depose our power on other people. In this case, I'm talking about the past president of the United States.
Who, Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, so you see him as more like maybe fascist then?
Close to.
Close to.
Autocracy is fascism, nationalism.
I think every country needs to have some sort of identity, some sort of nationalism, some sort of patriotism, and I think we're losing that.
What kind of policies were under Trump? He was president for 4 years. What policy would you point to that you saw as maybe being that sort of autocratic policy that you would say?
the center all around him. It's not just policy. Everything. He was not policy rich. He was action rich. Destroying the democratic institutions.
So no specific policy.
Well, the whole COVID debacle.
That was,
I mean, it was purely managed.
You guys, let's take a few moments for part 2 of Cooking with Klug, brought to you by Traditions Meat Company. So I just grilled Traditions pork baby back ribs, pork chop, and ribeye steak. Now if you ignore the pink tongs I'm using for some reason,
in your next video they're gonna send you some actual like cookware for the barbecue.
Look how insanely good these meats look on the grill. We used a dry rub for the ribs, salt and pepper for the pork chop and ribeye, and everything just turned out perfectly. All we were missing was some signature creme fraiche. It's so important to know where exactly your food is coming from, and this is why I'm so proud to partner with Traditions Meat Company. Their mission is to provide sustainably sourced meat products directly to you by supporting the small, independent farmers across America. Traditions is the real deal. Non-GMO, corn and soy free, no antibiotics ever, raised in humane living conditions, which is obviously important, and they offer both grain and grass-finished meats. And whether you live in Texas or Florida, your meat will arrive insulated and safe, so you can order with confidence. In fact, if an order is ever delayed and the meats arrive thawed, they'll immediately reship it to you at their cost. The elites want you to eat bugs. Make sure to give them the middle finger at traditionsmeatco.com and use my promo code JamesKlug15 for 15% off. Again, that is traditionsmeatco.com, promo code JamesKlug15. I will put a link down in the description below. Let's get back to the video. I did just speak with somebody that was saying the greatest threat. I want to run this by you and see what your thoughts are. The greatest threat is Donald Trump. That's what they said, that the greatest threat to the United States is today. What are your thoughts about that response? Do you agree with it or do you disagree with it?
Absolutely disagree, and I think this is a fundamental problem. The extreme left has created an incitement. I can't think of any political figure, including Hitler, that inspires so much inherent revulsion. People don't, listen, if you dislike Donald Trump, I understand that. If you disagree with his policies, I understand that. If you're offended by his tweets and by some of his positions and his arrogance, his boorishness, his narcissism, all of that makes sense. That I could agree with. But these people don't just hate Trump. They despise him. They loathe him with a passion that they would projectile vomit just at the sound of his name. There's something wrong with that attitude. He's not that bad. The 4 years under Trump's presidency were not bad 4 years. These past 3 years have been a lot worse in every matrix. From an economic, from a foreign policy, from if you love peace. These past 3 years have not been good.
I just feel like in the last few years we've been more polarized. I know throughout my life, adult life, we've always been, this side versus that side, but it seems like now it's a little bit more like pitched.
People are more unsatisfied in their day-to-day lives than they ever have been. Lack of purpose, cost of living exploding over the past several years. People are feeling angry. They're not where they want to be. And I don't think a lot of these people really care that deeply about the issues that I'm talking about. I think it's just they're angry, they're mad, and they need something to channel that.
There's a reason that people all over the world want to come to America. People aren't clamoring to get into Russia. Nobody is dying to go into China. There aren't caravans of people looking to go to Nicaragua. They're coming to America for a reason, and I think it's unfortunate that foreigners have a better appreciation of how wonderful a society, with all its faults, how wonderful a society the United States is, and how rare a society it is. There's not that many countries in the world that people want to mass immigrate to.
We just talked to a guy that actually his greatest concern was nationalism. What are your thoughts about people with that position? I mean, that seems fairly common among certain people in the United States with particular ideologies.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion in people because if you don't have nationalistic views or if you don't connect with your country, then you kind of have an attitude of anything goes. So once you lose that connection with your country and you kind of get into this anything goes attitude, then what are we fighting for? Why are we here?
Right.
Just to enjoy the beach. You can enjoy the beach anywhere.
I feel like not a lot of people are able to express what they really feel nowadays,
For sure.
which is not what America's built around, which is freedom of speech. We're slowly losing that.
What does America need to do to fix this problem?
I think it starts from the top. I think that people at the top need to start uniting and stop dividing. So I think in the last maybe 50 years, American politics has gone, not to get political, but American politics has gotten very divided. And when you have a divided country, people start to lose their values.
I mean, like, I'm a Christian. I'm going to say, like, you know, y'all need Jesus, and I mean it. It brings purpose to your life. When you have purpose, when you have something to look forward to get up in the morning, when you feel like you're moving where God's wanting you to move, you know, you don't get as upset about trivial things that are going to, you know, that don't really matter that much. Not saying that those things don't matter, but arguing with strangers online is never a good look.
What's the solution? Does he need to go to
put him on the
Bring
ballot.
back the Obamas.
Okay. So we need to take him off the ballot.
Yes. If
Take
you have
him off-
36
lock him
charges,
up.
you shouldn't be on the ballot.
Take him off the ballot, lock him up. If this is the greatest threat to the United States, what is the solution there?
Because we wouldn't have Donald Trump anymore. So
At some point, we're all going to have to come as one, and I don't know how we're going to do that, and I'm not the one to lead us to that, but that's the only reason I could think, or the only way I could think we could.
Do you see both parties as caring equally about freedom of speech, or no?
No, not really. Like I said, I'm not for right or left. I'm very neutral, but I would say that the left is very censorship heavy. When the right, they say whatever the they want, even if it is like ridiculous. Like both of them, there's very extremes. It's literally a spectrum, and if we could find a middle ground, that would probably be great, but I don't see that ever happening.
What do you see the solution being for climate change there?
What do you think, babe?
I think we need a lot of technology help. I think a lot of people do little things every day to help, and that's helpful, but that's not enough for where we're at. We need to use the soil to remove carbon. We need to use whatever means we can. I think there's got to be a lot of technological change. I think there has to be huge government investments and private industry investments in making big changes quickly.
I mean, it's fair to say you and me are kind of on the opposite sides of the spectrum, but like you and me just had like what, a 5, and you're a camera guy here.
Good conversation the
Yeah,
other week.
because we're friends.
Right.
We just need to kind of embrace other things other than just politics, I would say.
Ideas that maybe make you uncomfortable, that go against kind of what you believe, but willing to talk about it without tearing each other's heads off.
Bingo. I mean, I know hopefully I'm better. I used to get really worked up and emotional, and there's no place for that really. You know, it's like the guy with the best ideas, if he loses his head, he's the idiot, right?
As you approach kind of a more nihilistic society, a lot of people still fill that religious void with something else, and perhaps people are filling that with politics.
I think that's a really good observation. Whether you're atheist, agnostic, whatever it is, you can't deny that humankind has always had some type of religion.
As for Joe Biden and the Democrats, if they are the biggest threat, what do you see the solution being there?
You got to vote for Trump, 2024. Get down to the polls, place your vote, get your vote in there, get in early.
What the founding fathers were facing and what the society they dreamed of was unheard of in the 18th century. Right. Nobody could have imagined a society in which was free, where all men were created equal, where the purpose of government was not just to secure your life or liberty, but to actually secure the pursuit of happiness. This is something which was unheard of. It was revolutionary. We are a revolutionary country, a revolutionary society, and the appreciation of that has been lost. And I think taking pride in America, a little bit of good old-fashioned patriotism, not the blind patriotism of love it or leave it, America right or wrong, but the appreciation that this country gave to the world concepts of governance, concepts of civil society, which were unheard of and I think unthinkable to most of the other residents of the planet.
For sure.
We now have a problem, and the problem that Americans have is that we no longer believe the media, and we're living in two different Americas.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. So let me know what you guys thought about these responses down in the comment section below. Also, I want to hear from you. What is the greatest threat to the United States? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe for more videos, and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post. I'll catch you all in the next video. What is the greatest threat to the United States, Thunder? Thunder?
What do we think? He's like the greatest threat is overheating.
Can I plug in my band real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Hollywood Nightmare, man. I'm the singer for it.
What kind of music?
It's a metalcore band.